Hey everybody, this is MacDaddyMike. Long time no nothing. This isn't actually what I ever expected to be coming back with, but as this released just a week ago, I found myself having a lot to say about it. Uh, Initially very positive, but let's just say that my opinion changed as we went along. This is going to be less of a let's play. I've only played the game once all the way through, so it won't be as spectacular as I'm sure some of the other videos are on the subject. But it's going to be as much of a let's play as it will be also a comprehensive review and critique, let's say. So I plan to be going through and kind of commenting on what worked in this game from a design standpoint, what's worthy of merit, what ideas fell flat, and what ideas were just batshit fucking stupid and they shouldn't have thought of to begin with. But first off, a little bit of background. I'm actually surprised I haven't talked too much about Mega Man on any of my other videos because it's probably my favorite series ever. Maybe less time went into it than Final Fantasy or something of that length, but the Mega Man games were the first games that I ever owned that didn't have Super or Mario in the title, and I very much grew up on the series. I love the classic series above all else. Played all the classic games, all the X games, Battle Network, the Zero games. Pretty much the only major ones that I've omitted are the Legend series, because I just pretty much didn't have access to those games. And Star Force, mainly because I thought that they just really dumbed down the combat by removing the grid movement and making it onto one plane. So I never gave that one a fair shot, but, you know, maybe someday along the way. And I won't get into my opinions on the classic series right now, because I'm sure that there's a lot of controversy behind that, but I've got some rare opinions, let's say. But maybe sometime in the future or near the end of this series of videos. So first off, Mega Man Unlimited. This title screen, I don't even want to say too much, it is definitely trying too hard to be gritty. I mean, the whole battle damage thing just doesn't seem very Mega Man, but you know what, forget it. I'll forgive it. It's easy enough. Let's just get right into this. Alright, here's our Rogues Gallery. Now, hey everybody, let's try Rainbow Man first. No, we're not going to be going into that for a while. Oh god, that's going to be fun when we do. I'm going to be going through mostly in the same order that I played in my original run-through, and I started with Nailman. And I think this is a very good stage to start with for a number of reasons. Nice little intro. The ending reminded me of Mega Man 3's. First off, I want to say this is probably the best level in the game. In my opinion, you know, my humble opinion. Just starting off, this is absolutely gorgeous. And I have to applaud the amount of care that went into the graphical design of this, the aesthetic design. In Mega Man 9, when it came out, I thought it was way too simplified. And I know that they were going for this whole, like, back to Mega Man 2 basics thing. But the backgrounds were like nothing. Splash Woman stage was just blue water. Like, it was less graphically intensive than Mega Man 2. And originally, apparently, it was designed to have, what do you call it? Like ships in the background, like treasure ships, sunken treasure ships. But they removed them to make the background more simple. And I don't know, that's... Oh, wow. I apparently need to focus a little bit more. Okay, so... Yeah, I get that they were trying to go for an old school, like, you know, oh, it's like Mega Man 2 thing, because, you know, everybody loves Mega Man 2. Talk about that some other day. But they really don't need to dumb down the visuals. I mean, this looks like the next game in the series after Mega Man 8. Even though it's an NES style, this is leagues above every other NES title. This looks way better than Mega Man 6, for sure. And the color use is fantastic. I love the orange and the yellow and how it contrasts with the gray. It really makes an atmosphere more than anything that I've seen in this, like, the NES games, and is high above the caliber of any other fan-made game. Now, in terms of when this game came out, I really didn't know anything about it. I just thought, hey, it was a new Mega Man fan game. And if we're being totally honest, I have not been impressed with pretty much any Mega Man fan game that has come out. Oh, I love this song so much. Okay, I'll get to that. Yeah, I haven't been impressed with any Mega Man fan game that's come out. I haven't played them all naturally, but the ones that I have played were just not up to what I consider to be Mega Man. And for the most part, it's in terms of the difficulty. A lot of these games seem to really think that, oh, we throw as many enemies onto the screen as we can, and that's what makes it difficult, and that's Mega Man. Or we have these really unbelievable challenges that they're not Mega Man. Mega Man is not like that. It's not how it's designed. And this screen here just instantly screams Mega Man to me. I mean, you have this interesting kind of, not even a new gimmick, it's kind of a harkens back to Gutsman's stage design, especially with the falling kind of loophole here. But it sets it up in a way that's safe. And something you'll notice about Mega Man games is that whenever they introduce a new gimmick, they'll always do it over solid ground, where when you learn it by standing here, you don't die, you just kind of get hold of the gimmick. A great example is Hornet Man stage in Mega Man 9. Those snail platforms, the first time you see one, it's in a regular box room where nothing's really happening. And the game just kind of shows you, oh, this is how the gimmick works, and it may seem simple now, but we're going to kill you with it later. It's really clever about it that way. So I always appreciate it when it happens in this game, and that's a great example. The hole in the, I don't know what you call this, not a zip line, but whatever, the hole in the platform conveyor line actually doesn't really come to play much in this level, and doesn't even come to play much until later in the game in the Wily stages. But it's nice how they set it up. So early on in this level, you see the first one, it's over solid ground, and... oh wow. And this here is probably one of my favorite screens in the entire game, because this is just so much of what Mega Man is to me. You have this really simple idea, it's just a ladder and a bunch of enemies, and you've been introduced to these enemies so often throughout this level that you know their patterns, you know that it's a simple kind of shoot array, but their placement on the screen is what makes the screen challenging. And anyone who's immediately entering this screen is going to get hit, because they're going to have to think, okay, what are these paths going to be? Some of them will try to rush it and they'll get hit, and you have to know where the safe spots are to be able to really adequately clear the screen and make it safely. And I think that's just brilliant. It's very well balanced, and balance is something that's really difficult to find in these fan games. I really like the new Mets, especially the first time that you encounter them. They kind of play with your expectations of, oh, every game has a Met, it's going to be a little different. But this one's kind of clever, and it, I don't know, it just, you expect a normal Met, it's a nice change. Love the background here. Reminds me a little bit of Tornado Man stage in Mega Man 9, but it looks gorgeous. Seriously, I love the colors. And, oh, I have to give something to the music. This is the best track in this entire game. Especially the theme that I just finished playing, the C theme. It's so catchy, I've had it stuck in my head all week, really. Oh, I'm gonna try my best not to die too much, and if I do, then I'll cut through, but mainly I just want to be able to say what I gotta say here. Now, this is a really nice platforming bit. I want to grab that quickly. The game does a good job, especially in this level, of making really reasonable platforming challenges. And like here, if you get knocked down, you have this chance to fall into this instant death pit, but you know to be careful of it, so it kind of sets itself up very well. And if you try to shoot these guys right away, thinking that it's one of the other two regular Mets, you're going to get screwed on that platform and get hit by their shots. Now, this is where we get to our first big problem with this game, and that is that pretty much in any other Mega Man level, this would be the boss door. We haven't even reached a checkpoint yet. And so the problem here is that these levels are too long. Not too much. Well, they're on a basis longer than probably the longest regular Capcom Mega Man level, and if I had to guess what that was off the top of my head, I'd say probably Wily 1 from Mega Man 10. And they're all longer than that. Some of these levels are twice the length of the regular Mega Man level, and that wouldn't be so bad. I mean, new content is never the worst thing in the world, but they're not balanced in terms of the checkpoints. We haven't reached a checkpoint yet, there isn't 3 checkpoints, and if I die at this mini-boss, and it's, very reasonable that I can, oops, damn it, that was my bad, then I have to start the level over again, and who the hell wants that? Like, it's just, it's a little unreasonable. I think that if they were going for this length of a game, it would have been much smarter to put in more checkpoints. And nobody's going to complain about more checkpoints. I mean, Wily 1 in Mega Man 10 had 3 checkpoints in its stage, and nobody minded that. It was very well balanced. And in this game, I don't think it is. I think that the levels just go too long, and that the amount of what they expect you to do in this game is a bit unreasonable. Now this is a nice little area here. It's, you know, lots of spikes, but it's not challenging. You can take the easy path to the right and not have to worry about this, or you could go for a little bit extra like I just did. Life drop, very helpful. I thought that they balanced the life drops in this game pretty well. I don't know about how it is in comparison to the other games, but when I was playing through the first time, I thought that they did a good job of, you know, I had a lot of life drops, more than I felt than usual. Really like these enemies here. It's a nice change of the floor sweeper idea in that they have a weak point that you can hit. It's just, it moves around. It challenges the player to be accurate with their shots, which I really enjoy. And here we have another nice gimmick that works a lot like the real nail shooters in this level otherwise, in that it's built around safe zones, and very simple patterns, very even patterns. It reminds me kind of the Mega Man 4 Kozak stage spike platforms. But it's really neat. It gives you a moment to kind of think about where the safe parts are. And again, it does it in a safe environment. When you drop in this box room, you don't have to rush through it. You can take your time, think about, okay, where can I stand at every given interval? And that's what I feel good Mega Man game design is about. It's not about, you know, an unreasonable challenge. It's about making you think about the level design consciously. And that's what this does. Speaking of which, really love this inclusion of the water section. I read another review that kind of criticized this for being underwhelming. Or underutilized, really, in that there's only this much water and none of the enemies really react to it. But more than anything, I think this works from a really good aesthetic standpoint. This level, more than any other, has a sense of geography to it that is really rare in Mega Man games. I mean, you start off at the edge of this construction site, and you climb up this building that's under construction where you fight a mini-boss at the top, and then you go down through, you progress downwards through this kind of, you know, dilapidated building into its basement where it's flooded. It kind of tells a story, really, a geographical story of, you know, Mega Man's not just going through a series of box rooms. This is a location. This is a place. And it makes it feel a little bit more involved, a little bit more real, and a lot more thought through. So I really got to applaud them for this kind of level design. You don't see this often. I'd say probably the thing that this... Well, what this reminds me most of is probably the submarine in Blizzard Man stage in Mega Man 6. And again, that was a really, like, small section. Oh, I should probably think about this a little bit more. Okay, safe zone, and mess up my jump, but... Okay, a little bit. Oh, too quick on the drop. I immediately regret doing this live. I probably should have just recorded the gameplay and then done the commentary after. Oh, that was... pretty good. Oh, that was a little rough, but I probably could have ended that poor. So another thing that I've noticed that the game designer, Megaphil, I guess, really enjoys is the short hops. A lot of the platforming in this game is built around it. So you're going to be seeing a lot of short hopping. So we've reached the boss, and you know this seems already like a pretty long level. So I'm surprised that it's gone this quickly, but I'm not too out of practice. I've only played this game once, but, you know, I'm pretty decent. Now, here's something that I'm probably going to go into more later. I really feel like this game was not designed with without the charge shot in mind. There's no charge shot. It's kind of Mega Man 3-ish in that you have the slide, but there's no charge. But it feels like it was designed around the charge shot. Bosses have the kind of invincibility frames that you would expect them to have with the charge shot, but, like, look at this. If this were like Mega Man 3, I'd be doing a lot more damage a lot quicker, but it's not designed in that respect. Oh, shoot. Timing of that was a little off. Alright, round 2. But even more so, a lot of the bosses' designs really work around very few instances where they're attackable. So, like here, most of this fight is spent with Nailman completely impervious to harm. So it feels like it should be rewarding the player for saving up a charge shot and using it at the opportune moment. But it doesn't do that, and I don't know, it kind of conflicts with the design. It feels like there should be a charge shot in this game, and there really isn't, and I'm screwed. Whatever. And look, I still can't attack him. Like, isn't this ridiculous? It really feels like I should be saving up a charge shot for, like, the excellent attack. But the game doesn't seem to be designed around that, and I feel that that's a misstep. Furthermore, I've played through probably 3 levels of this game before I remember that there was a slide, because it feels like a lot of these bosses aren't built around that either. This one's a poor example of that because, you know, the charge is clearly used, I mean, not the charge, the slide is used to dodge his attack where he flies above you and shoots downward. But other than that, a lot of the bosses have run cycles, and if you think about it, that's really rare in a Mega Man game. Most of the bosses that you will encounter in a Mega Man game will jump, especially in games that use the slide, because the whole point is that you're supposed to be able to slide under them. Whereas in this game, most of them run, and the slide is effectively useless. There are a few exceptions, but on the whole, it feels like this game was not designed around the slide, and it was designed around the charge shot. So I'm really confused as to why one was included and not the other. But that ends Nailman stage, and I'm going to try my best to fight all the bosses with just the Mega Buster to start, the regular Buster. I think that's the best level in the game. It feels the most balanced. What they expect out of you isn't ridiculous. It's still a really long level, and it's still a challenging level. Probably still the easiest level of the game. And that says something when the easiest level of the game is still that challenging. Far more challenging than I'd say any stage I can think of in a classic Mega Man game, aside from maybe, I don't know, Tornado Man stage in Mega Man 9. I always thought that one was pretty tricky. But this one's very fairly designed. The enemy placements are clever. There aren't a lot of kind of, you know, one-hit kill areas. It really feels like a Capcom-made level. And that's what really hit me when I played it. I started off with it when I played it through the first time, and I was so impressed. Thought this is exactly what I hope the rest of the game is. So I opened with it here because I thought it was the best level. Great way to showcase what the brilliant aspects of this game's design before we get into more of the things that I disagree with. And it's great to start off with because you get Rush Jet. And the platforming challenges in this game are really difficult, so I recommend starting with this level just so that you can get Rush Jet and make it a little easier down the line. But yeah, that's Nailman stage. Boom!